All right. Gilliam, how are you doing in your side of the world today?
Well, on this side of the world, the wind was crazy today. It was really ready to get pretty cold out here. So, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a bit non-gentle reminder that winter is coming up pretty hard.
Yes,
Uh,
I can totally agree with that in more ways than one. It was a bit brisk where I am today as well. So, whew, let's just say that to say the least.
all right, yeah, it was. Yeah, today was not a not no summer jacket. It was be dressed legit. Yeah,
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. I really couldn't.
so yeah, and it's Amsterdam is nice. It's fun. It's pretty liberal to a certain extent, but yeah, the weather ain't as liberal as we would like it to be.
This weather,
So,
boy, I tell you.
yes. So tell me a bit about Atlanta, because one of my guys been telling me about Atlanta, and so I would like to have a female perspective as the Atlanta scene.
From a technology perspective, Atlanta is really up and coming. Like there's going to be a lot of networking security startups coming out of here soon. A lot of supply chain, a lot of manufacturing. Cost of living here is pretty decent as well. So it's just a matter about what your real needs are when you come here.
Mhm.
But I think that it's a great place to, really foster entrepreneurship. I've definitely been happy with that. So I think that that is definitely you know, a good look.
Okay, okay. Huh,
So
nice. All right.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
because
I think it's pretty interesting.
yeah, because I heard it's truly it's a nice place to be at, um, especially minorities are truly coming up and whatnot. So yeah, I was pretty interested.
Yeah, it definitely will be it's a great place for minorities and minorities in business. So I think that combining those together definitely is a win-win for the city and stuff.
All right,
So
all right.
I think it's a good space. So we're gonna get started in one more minute. I see we have some people viewing us. I'm gonna start in 1 minute. We're gonna keep the party going.
Of course, it's Friday.
Yes, there's still work to be done.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely.
So that's that. One more minute. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us and watching us here tonight on Blab. My name is Kristen Smith. I am a biz techpreneur and CEO and chief technology consultant of Everrock LLC, and I have my immaculate and fabulous partner in technology, Mr. Gilliam Kloof. And Gilliam can introduce himself real quick.
Yes, I am actually based in Amsterdam, Europe, and I pretty much am into web development and app development. And since we recently started with a whole lot of consulting, we
Hmm.
wanted the best of the best to actually help us help our clients bridge the gap between business and tech. So that's where Miss Kirsten Smith came in, and we're kind of really making this work.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. So, we're gonna go ahead and get into tonight's topic. So, tonight we're basically talking about something that a lot of people definitely want to know. I've gotten inquiries about it, and especially when we put stuff on our social media about business tips for developing revenue. a revenue generating website. Like, how do you do that? It's really not that complicated as a lot of people may think. It's about having the right strategy and the right, mindset and having that in place. So we're going to go ahead and get started with it. So when it comes to, monetizing your blog or your website, it is pretty much like you're monetizing a business model. So your brand in your blog, your website, that's your business model. So whatever you want to come out of this, it has to be something that can be monetizable. So if you have a brand, for instance, that is, I'm just going to be hypothetical, creating products for infants. If you're starting off with the blog initially, you're trying to figure out, okay, how can I monetize off of this? Because you already have the market, you already have, the target audience that you're looking to attract, but you really don't know how to put everything together. So that is what this blog is about tonight, and I think it will be definitely interesting for anybody who wants to know more about this piece of information. So we have 5 tips for you tonight. In regards to monetizing, your blog, your site, to make it really revenue generating. So the first thing would actually be starting a membership website on your site. So going back to the example that I just gave with, the mompreneur who might be a stay-at-home mom who wants to create products or have a blog for infants. Start a membership website for these other moms that are out there. If you have your target audience already, and if you already know how you can join and link everyone together, why can't you create a membership site off of that? Basic memberships can start from as low as $5.99 a month, or they can go as high as $19.99 a month. It is really your preference and your call when it comes to the numbers, to making sure that you are equating your value, your time, your brand to the right cost, and making sure that it's something that's feasible to your audience as well. So, what do you think about that from the technical side, Gillian? Because membership websites on the business side, it's always about numbers, but from the technology inside, that's a whole different ballgame. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for the technical aspect, it's you would have to think of something a bit more complex than just having your regular WordPress website. When it comes to, because a lot of people think, yeah, I just want a website, and they get just a regular website, and then, yeah, but I want people to join in also, and they get surprised of the additional work that comes into play. Because when you want to have membership and things like that, you need to actually configure the website to store that data where people can actually log in and truly be able to look at the content that's on the website itself, the content that you're pushing out to them. So that's definitely something that to consider. Another aspect is, if you, let's say that you started with the website itself, on the desktop, the desktop frame actually, then you truly need to look at, okay, how should my website be looking like on a mobile device? And that is very important these days, because if your website is not mobile compatible, Google and actually even other search engines will truly be a bit harsh in ranking you in search results, because you really need to have a good website that's well represented on mobile devices.
Right.
Then you have two options that you can choose from. You can actually really configure it into a mobile website, whereas you actually look at, okay, my clients are going after this and this and this type of information, so I would like to have that on the mobile website. And that's why on a lot of mobile websites they provide the option, choose stick with the mobile version of the website, or go to the desktop version. Let's say a client or a visitor would like to have the option of using other features that are not in a mobile website, then they can go to the desktop version. The only difference is that the desktop version, things will maybe look a bit small, not scaled up to date. And that's why you have the other option for mobile devices, which is the responsive type of website. Whereas as soon as the website itself notices that, hey, this is a tablet or this is a smartphone, then the website itself kind of responds to, okay, this is a smaller screen, so the menu should be on your left hand side. And that's pretty much what it comes down to, that the scalability of the website, the sizes of images and the wording and things like that, that they're represented well on mobile devices. So on a technical point of view, it's more the usability. That's the biggest thing that we focus on at web development.
Yeah, and I totally agree with everything that Gilliam just said. From the back end of starting a membership website, it's so much more to think about than just saying, yes, I have a cute little WordPress blog. Yes, I have a cute little landing page. It's more into that. So think about that and factor that into your numbering when you're running numbers for actually building a membership website. So the next tip and next option that we have for monetizing money and having a generating website would be more so direct affiliate programs. So there are a slew of them. So I'm going to tell you basically to pretty much look at Google because there are plenty. The top ones, definitely are Amazon.com. They're great affiliates. Most of the web hosting people are great affiliates. Like I know DreamHost, who, I have websites with, they do affiliate programs. So does Bluehost. It's so many web affiliate programs. There's always a way to make money and generate them. So if you give people a certain code, and say they got it from off of your website, you get a percentage of that deal. Amazon, you pretty much are going to always make your money regardless. But, read the fine print just to make sure what is, the income to percentage ratio, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the numbers work perfectly. So, from a technical aspect, Gilliam, when it comes to direct affiliations, how is that easily accessible from somebody's site? Because I know if I had links and stuff, all that, it has to be a little bit more intrusive than that, correct?
Yes. Well, it's like you said, just a little bit, because actually, if everybody read the fine print with these affiliate programs, pretty much anybody can put it on their website. In most cases, it's a little bit of code that needs to be added to the website, or on either on each page or the page that you want it to be on. In other instances, there's also that you could add the piece of code either on your server, then that's enough. So it's pretty much what the requirements are for these affiliate programs. And in most cases, they want it to be um, very user friendly. So basically, what they do is that, hey, just add this piece of code to your website, and it's good. Then people can already see it. For the most cases, in people that have a really truly custom made website, then it becomes difficult for them to actually add that piece of code. But if you have a let's say simple WordPress website, then you usually have an option to edit the text on the page visually or with text. And with text, then you usually see the HTML code and things like that. And if you want to do it yourself, then you just choose to put to display the text, and then you just add the code. It is actually really simple, but you really need to read the fine print, as Kristen said.
Right. Actually, that's always great sense. And, anything in business, you always want to read the fine print just to make sure that you understand what you're getting into, especially since we said last time, your website is like your online business card.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that anything that is applicable and that's on there is in, the right agreements and the right terms as it should be. So, segueing and, going back into website stuff, and we're still talking about, generating a revenue-based website. Our third tip would be actually something that a lot of people don't think about, and it's actually selling ad space.
Yeah.
If you know for a fact, especially it's holiday season right now, everybody is looking to get on or have some sort of space on a site that has a lot of traffic, or even somebody that is up and coming. And there's so many packages that you can give, and this is where the business stuff comes in, because you can create generational and, more so like a lot of revenue from ad space. Like the passive income from it is ridiculous. You can do packages to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to keep you on a 3-month retainer. You'll get top priority, at the top of the website. You'll have this banner, here's the size so that they can format it properly. And you can do that on a 3-month retainer. And for holidays, every time somebody clicks to that, they more so can just be like, well, you know what? I think it's great that all this is coming through. And I think like I've seen an increase in my business. I need to continue doing this during the holiday season.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about, ad space, Gilliam? Because I think, that's just as important as affiliates. And, it's kind of simple just as it is like with, having affiliate links and stuff on your site.
Yeah. The one thing with ad space is that a lot of people have I would tentatively say they have a misconception as to ad space, because with a lot of ads, it all depends on if people click on it or if people actually truly buy something. So that it comes back to reading the fine print. Do you receive money when they just click on it, or do you receive money when they actually purchase something through your website? And just adding the links is pretty much just adding a piece of code. Some websites can do it on just put in the your own URL, and then you can then the ad will start displaying if you add a piece of code. But in most cases, you yourself have to actually I would say do some A/B testing as to what works best for your website. Do people actually purchase from your website, or they're just curious George and just press on the link to see what the advertisement is all about? And after you do your A and B testing, you can maybe see after a week or after 2 3 weeks, okay, people are actually just clicking on the link. Then we would advise that you go for that type of advertising on your website, and because that would be more lucrative for you. And advertising is very is it's you should decide for yourself if you want to put advertising on your website, or you want to stay exclusive and say, no, I don't want any advertising. I want just my brand. And that's what you need to do for yourself.
Yeah, I would totally agree with everything that Gilliam just said. I think that all of that totally makes sense, especially when it comes to ad space. It is a big misconception, especially within the advertising sector. It's just like, oh, we think we can do this. We can think it's not that simple. So make sure that you understand everything, especially when you go into agreements with people about, getting ad space. Make sure that you read everything once again, reading the fine print. The fourth tip is actually one that I'm currently, utilizing, and it actually has to do with Gilliam, and it's about joint partnerships. So when you're actually working with, a joint venture or a joint partnership with, another entrepreneur, another business, you actually can access their site and actually access their traffic by, utilizing, even if your name was on there, it doesn't have to necessarily be an ad. It could just be something with your presence on there. But, what it can do is actually make you money off of your site too, because people see, oh, I saw that, Kristen Smith was working with Gilliam Cluth. I saw that they were working, on Blab, and I saw this on Instagram, and now I'm coming to his site and I see her. Maybe I want to work with her one-on-one because I already have a developer, but I like her from the business side. Or it could be vice versa, where somebody could, say, I think Kristen is great with the business savvy, but I'm not looking for that. I already have a consultant, but now I'm looking for a web developer. It could be more so like, yes, like I'm looking for Gilliam, and, I know he can help me with my app and development strategy. I think that would be great. So, I think at the end of the day, joint venture is, a great way to also monetize off of your blog. So what do you think about that, Gilliam? Because that's something that we're currently actually implementing now.
Yeah, when it comes to partnerships, joint ventures, and in general, just working with other entrepreneurs, it's always pretty helpful to work with others, but you truly have to decide for yourself, how do I want to add value for the client or your client?
Mm-hmm.
because anybody can say, okay, I want to work with this person, but if that person doesn't add value to your client, then you haven't done anything. You actually went one or two steps back. And just a simple example with me and Kristen, me being more technically with a technical background, and Kristen with actually both technical and business background, that makes this a perfect partnership. Whereas where I may have my shortcomings, then Kristen jumps in, and vice versa. All in all, you need to decide for yourself: do my clients truly, can they benefit from this partnership? And because all in all, you
Yes,
get paid by
exactly.
your clients,
And
then you might as well just say, okay, we can't work together.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's really what it is. But I do think that the joint venture is, a great, aspect to it, just simply because of the fact that, it's something that we're currently doing, and it's something that, actually even through leads, it can foster lead generation. It can foster, returning clients. It can foster, maybe not working with somebody immediately, but they can connect you through their network with somebody that might be beneficial to you and the person that you're in a joint venture with. So that is definitely something to take into consideration. So, the fifth and final tip when it comes to, creating a generating income website is the most important one. And I saved the best for last just because of the fact that I think that a lot of people are now starting to tap into this value, but not as much as they should. And it actually has to deal with selling your own product. At the end of the day, your own product is going to be your cash king. And I say that because it's something that you are creating. It's something that you have taken your equity, your blood, sweat, and tears, and actually fostered to create this product. So creating that ebook, creating that mini course, creating, that video 7-day course that you might be, if you're in the wellness industry and you want to do like a 7-day, like, visualization boot camp, and like you're creating videos and stuff. That is selling your own product. That is how you're making money off of your website, because people saw you put maybe a click video like at the top. And now it's like, okay, like I really am interested in what she's doing. Like, how can I get more of that? And, it could go to so many things. It can go to like physical products, like t-shirts, mugs, accessories, to digital. And like digital is really huge right now in the online space and market. So that is something that a lot of people should tap into, especially if you're trying to monetize money off of your site. Gillian, what are your thoughts about, selling your own product? Because from a technical standpoint, there's a lot of back end stuff that needs to be done. And then at the same time, it's more so the cash cow, I really feel like, as far as really monetizing off of your site.
Yeah, on the technical point of view, it starts with the entrepreneur themselves as to really deciding which products or which services they want to provide on their website. For example, it's a big difference in providing services compared to providing actual products. When it comes to actually setting up your business on your website, you can choose to use WordPress or some other type of easier platform. And the thing with those types of platforms is that you usually have a few plugins that you can use to set up your e-commerce. And what you do, you need to decide for yourself, okay, what do I want to monitor? Do I want to monitor, okay, how many people are looking at the product? Do I want to monitor how many cash payments, or do I just want to sell? It's truly dependent on those things, what you set as parameters, as criteria, as the business owner yourself. And from that point on, let's say even if you want to distribute content, when distributing content, There are actually two ways that you can really go about that. You can establish it on the technical front, whereas people can download your content. Where we, as technical guys, we simply place the content on your server, and from there,
Mm-hmm.
people can actually download the content for their own use. What you want to do to generate business is to let people sign up for this content so that you can actually potentially have their business at a later stage or immediately. So that's something you need to consider. The other way is to actually incorporate social media when doing these types of things, because social media is actually free. So you want to hook it up with Twitter, you want to add Facebook, and even there's still a kind of thought process behind it, because for example, if you have an audience that's mainly available on Twitter, then you just need to add Twitter and secondary maybe Facebook. But if your audience is maybe mainly female, then you have to add Pinterest. So those are things that truly need to be considered. And it basically all comes down to what you decide as the business owner. And from there, us techies can actually see, okay, this can be done. Let's just figure out how we do it.
Right.
Especially
Absolutely.
on web development. It's I wouldn't say easy, because a lot of things still need to be custom built, especially if depending on what you want to observe, what you want to analyze. And there are some tools like Google Analytics and whatnot. But if you truly want to get into the nitty gritty of things, then yes, certain things still need to be custom built. But these are the core, the basics that you need to know when actually distributing your own products or services.
Yeah, and I agree with everything that Gilliam said. And I think one other thing that I would add to that would actually had to do with automation, and that's the technical side of it too. When selling your product, you don't have time, especially during holiday season, to be trying to figure out how to get your product delivered, how to ship it. Time is everything, especially during holiday time, being an entrepreneur. So any way that you can automate that, like from physical products, making sure that, if you have somebody opt into your email list and they get a special code to use in your online store, make sure it comes like that. It should be automated. It should be instantaneous. And at the same time, you created your ebook, whether it's, CreateSpace, it's so many different avenues that you can do to automate it. So, if Gilliam went to my website and he purchased maybe an e-guide or something that I had, and I don't want him waiting all day for that product. Like, he wants it instantaneously because he wants to utilize it for his business right then and there. So he should be able to go purchase it, click, and he should get it within 5 seconds saying, here's the, e-guide for, whatever, create apps here. This is your strategy to web development, your holiday guide version, that should all be instantaneous. And I say that about automation to say that when it comes to selling your own product, you can make so much money off of your website, but there are a lot of things that have to come in place and be set in stone with your strategy to get that done. If your strategy is not intact, then everything will not be together. And, that could just cause you mayhem. And during the holiday season, what happens is that, you have people like myself, like Gilliam, who we've told you to prepare, prior to holiday, and then holiday is
Yeah.
here, and it's just like, oh, I'm not ready. And it's like, well, we can get you ready, but that's going to require so much time. And you can have families, and I understand that, and I think that is all fantabulous. However, at the end of the day, your clients still want your
Yes.
product. Your clients want everything and they look at you as a thought leader and as an expert. So why wouldn't I want Gilliam's product like that so I could use it? Maybe I have my idea to launch during holiday. I might be crazy to do that, but maybe that could be the idea. Maybe my e-guide could help you, satisfy whatever needs that you have for holiday season. But I say that and share this information to say that, with automation and selling your product, having your strategy in place is golden, and it is everything. So, at the end of the day, you can make so much money off of your website if you put in these things. So for the people who just came in, I'm going to do another quick recap just for doing that. And I'll introduce myself again. My name is Kristen Smith. I am a biz techpreneur, which is a entrepreneur well-versed in business and technology. And I have my great partner in crime, Mr. Gilliam Kloof, who is the CEO of Create Apps Here. He is a web developer, app developer. I am a biz tech person, so I know technology and business, but we're talking about how to monetize money off of your site tonight. And the first tip we talked about from a technology standpoint and a business standpoint is starting a membership website. If you have product and if you have service, you can start that tonight. As long as you have a techie on your team and you're ready to hit the ground running, you can generate that income easily on your site like tonight. And the second one would be more so being a direct affiliate. Basically, if we go through Amazon, web hosting, a lot of people are trying to start businesses. Entrepreneurship is pretty much the new black now. And at the end of the day, they always were looking for discounts and deals. And if you have a link or code to something that they need, you can get the credit and get money too. Why not be an affiliate? Why not be an affiliate for DreamHost, web hosting service? Why not be an affiliate for Bluehost? Why not be one for Amazon? That's still passive income that you have coming in. And, the third tip we talked about was selling, ad space. We also talked about, how different ad space can be, the technical and the business part of it, because you got to look at the numbers. And from the technical side, you got to make sure that you have the space. And the fourth tip we talked about was also basically about, joint ventures. Like that's just as important. And that is how Gilliam and I collaborated. And we're doing, great in servicing our clients really well. And we're coming together to work on projects too. And joint venture is so important and so great. And the last tip, like as I was stating previously, was selling your own product. I know that you have an ebook in you. I know that you have a digital guide. I know that you have a physical product in you. At the end of the day, whatever it is that you have, I guarantee you can create an income off of your website from just selling that product. So, at the end of the day, whatever is going to be feasible for you, these are 5 great tips to do it. We're coming to you, as experts in our field, and we're letting you know what real strategies not only have worked for our clients, but have worked for us personally as well. We're not going to sit up here and tell you anything that's not going to work. This is stuff that has been tried and true, and we have plenty of case studies. Even if you look on Google and look at case studies about this stuff, are very, very true. So, what do you think about that, Gilliam? Because at the end of the day, we're not going to share information that's not going to be true. But at the same time, with holiday coming up, strategy is so key to make sure people are generating this money from their site.
Yeah, and you are completely on point on that. Whereas you can say, okay, I may be a bit late on getting into this whole holiday season and whatnot. It's still all about strategy. So with that being said, I wouldn't say that you should just because you're late, you should just rush into, okay, I'm selling. Also, always try to set out a good strategy, because with a good strategy, you can actually save yourself a lot of maybe financial losses. Because because if you just start with just, okay, I'm gonna promote here and do this there because I didn't start on time, so I'm just gonna throw some money at it and it should be good. That's not the way to go.
Like that.
No. And that's why you can say we can come back to the earlier point we made, is that it's very crucial to set out the strategy, but even more important to know who your clients are. Because once you know who your clients are, you can kind of guess or have a good idea on how you get in touch with them, how you sell your product to them. And the one thing with this holiday season coming up is that you don't necessarily get away from what you were doing, but you're actually incentivizing them to come to you even more now. And that's why what Kristen said, you have the talent to write that ebook. You have the skills to actually make something very appealing to your clients to generate more business. It's all up to you. And if you come up with that idea, it's all about coming up with that strategy, setting up this great strategy, that you really know, okay, I want to push out this ebook and I'm going to do it like this, and that. And lastly, what I want to say regarding strategy is always have a second or third opinion because you're already biased. So you truly need to know exactly, I want to do it like this, but don't be too don't be too closed out, uh, on your own ways, in your own ways, that you kind of neglect everything else that might help you even more. So that's what I got on that topic.
Yeah, so we actually have a question in the room. It's from Danielle Boost. Thank you for joining. And Wendy, I'm gonna answer your question, but I want to give this to Gilliam because I know this is more. I'm good with analytics, but because this is I'm gonna give him the technical stuff. Danielle's asking Gilliam. She has some traffic on her site. She's interested in growing. Any suggestions for systems or possible solutions? Danielle, that was a great question, by the way, because especially with generating and you want to have a generating income website, traffic is very key. So, Gillian, what would be a good suggestion for Danielle to possibly, grow, whether it be a system, tools, resources? What would be a great way for Danielle? How can we answer that question for her?
Well, Danielle, if you truly, regarding growing your traffic, it you should know who is coming to your website, because once you know who's coming to your website, then you can, I wouldn't say easily grow, but you can have a better understanding as to what works. I'll give you an example. Right now, we are actually looking into, we're using on my website, I'm simply using Google Analytics. And what Google Analytics does is tell you exactly, from where people are coming to my website. You can actually also set it up that you can see what what type of market these people are, what they are interested in, and from there you kind of look at, okay, people that come to my website, they're actually really high class, type of people.
Mhm.
They're interested in the high end products and whatnot. So what can I do to actually meet their needs, their demands? And then you come back to the strategy point, and you start looking at, okay, who or how can I be appealing to this group even more? So what you do, you don't have to really dig into your website itself, because the website, it's already proven that they come to your website.
Mhm.
Right now, you just need to be appealing to more people.
Mhm.
So a few options, regardless of the technical aspect, would be to actually approach people in that are where those types of clients are, and from that point on, you can say, okay, I also noticed that they're more interested in my about page.
Mhm.
Then on the technical point, then you say, hey guys, they're more interested in my about page. How can we spruce this up, that is more appealing, more interesting to them? For the basic developer, you'll have to give them a little bit more detail, than just, I want to make it more appealing. So for you as business owner, then you'll have to see, okay, these are, okay, you say they're mostly women in 30s, then you would have to look at, okay, what are the colors that that women usually respond to,
Mm-hmm.
or they bright colors, let's say purple or things of that nature, then you, for example, set out, okay, I'm gonna, guys, developers, techies, can you guys set it up that all the products, all the things that I want to sell have the color purple to highlight that they need to press there, because then you're getting into the usability, the user interaction, and that's what you want. You want to highlight just the right features on your website that people truly click on it and buy from you, because that's how you generate your business. So I hope I kind of helped you with understanding how you go about growing, getting some more traffic on your website.
Yeah, and Danielle, just I saw that another thing that you said that you were using Facebook ads. I know with the new Facebook ads, from a marketing standpoint, they do have really good analytics, but from a technical standpoint for your site, ads are going to just show you, you know, how people are responding to you on Facebook, and it's only going to be within that platform. Where Google Analytics will really focus in on your website. So I actually just looked at all three of your websites. Another recommendation that I would have, Danielle, is on your profile, determine which one of your websites that you want to focus on for your analytics. Because if I am a woman in your target market, I'm seeing three different sites. So I'm like, I don't know where I fit in your medium. So I can't really determine how I would be actually a real factor in your metrics just because I don't know what site I'm going to. So just think about that, you know, when you're dealing with like your branding and, you know, when you're dealing with analytics, because that will be really, really important. And another thing too from your website too, and that was just a quick overview, think about freemiums. Freemiums are a great way to get people to bring more traffic to your site. And what I mean, Danielle, by freemium is that I know when you come to my site, if you text, like, you know, on Instagram, I have it on my profile, you text for tips, people opt into my mailing list. I usually send them a freemium, whether it's, you know, my top 10 tools that I use for business, you know, an audio recording that I might have done, some sort of freemium model that actually gets people to really start coming and really start drawing traffic. Because what happens is that if I'm a woman in my 30s, which I am, and I'm coming to your site, and say, for instance, Gilliam, you know, has a good friend, and I'm like, you know what, Gilliam, I think Lisa, his friend Lisa, will be interested in Danielle's website. Here's her information. That's how you get traffic another way too, by making sure that you target your audience. Yeah. So I hope that that's something that, you know, could be really helpful for you, Danielle, and I hope that we answered your question. We had another question too, Gilliam. Wendy, I can actually answer this yourself. Oh, you're welcome, Danielle. So Wendy also brought up a good point when it comes to products, that letting people know your ebook does not have to be 100 pages. Okay, listen, I'm going to bring you some harsh business reality right now. If I'm purchasing a product from somebody, I want it to be something that I can not quickly go through, but I don't want to feel like I have to dive deeply for information. I want something that is easily accessible. So even if I did a 10-page ebook, I want that guy to show me from Chapter 1, how do you start it? Chapter 2, what tools and resources that I need. 3, how to plan and to execute. 5, how to launch it. And then I will want some worksheets. That's me. And that's just because of the fact that I'm thinking about how my mind works. However, Wendy, when you look at other clients and other females too in the market, you have some people who want you to present like a synopsis, like it's a dissertation. You have people like that. So I always tell my clients to find a happy medium. Yes, you don't have to write, you know, the greatest, you know, story on earth, or the longest book. Like, it doesn't have to be that long. But give the people what value that they're looking for. It comes, like you said, Wendy, it comes to knowing your market. I know for a fact my market is startups, entrepreneurs, regardless of what their industry is, and small to mid-sized businesses. What value do they want from me? They want business and technology consulting. How can I marriage and work that in their world? That is it. I know that. They want to know about what apps they can use to get started. They want to know how they can set up their website in 30 days. They want to know, like, how can they automate their business? They want to know how they can be paperless. That is my market. So like you said, it's about knowing your market and knowing your value. And I know that's the value that I bring. When it comes to Gilliam, same exact way. He knows what his clients and his market is going to be. When it comes to web development and app development, it's the same similar strategy, except for his is a little bit more in depth. He's going all the way into technical about, you know, hiring his team, to pretty much lay out your foundation, lay out your blueprint, lay out everything when it comes from a step by step. Like for app and web strategies, you need to have it laid out like a blueprint because you need to see what's going on in each frame of the application. So like you said, Wendy, yes, it's knowing your market and understanding your value, and all of that is so important, even when it comes to generating money from your website. So I hope that Danielle and Wendy, we both answered your questions, or, Wendy, for you, your comment. But, at the end of the day, all of these tips that we gave you are definitely catapulting ways to help you, create income from your site. And the thing about it is that we can make so much money from our site daily, but it's like we feel like, oh, it's too saturated. At the end of the day, there will always be somebody that needs to have a website. There's your affiliate right there. At the end of the day, somebody is always going to purchase something from Amazon. There's your affiliate right there. So at the end of the day, it is knowing your market, it is knowing your value, and it is understanding how you can make the business and technology marriage work for your world. Wendy, you are very welcome. So yeah, I think, Gilliam, I feel like I preached to the choir tonight. That's just because, at the end of the day, I mean, the information
really helped them.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Gilliam and I always try to do blasts where we get information. Like, you have a lot of people who, especially, with us being experts in our field, we want to give valuable information, real case studies, real things. This is not fabricated. This is stuff that we have used on our clients. This is stuff that we know that works. So at the end of the day, this is an information and generational world where I want to make sure that you are equipped to make sure your business is going to the next level. And speaking of next level, we are getting ready to have a really good webinar coming up. Why don't you let the folks know about our webinar? Because Danielle and Wendy, I'm telling you, when you find out about this webinar, I guarantee you're going to want to sign up for it, because we've been working really hard to really get, like you said, knowing your market and value. I think you all might like this.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Gilliam, tell them a little bit about the webinar we have coming up.
Yeah, we're going to have a webinar on the 27th of November. It's also a Friday, and again at 7. We'll be having a webinar where you guys ready for this holiday season, for December, for Thanksgiving, and everything. And we're going to have you guys help you guys get set up on the promotional aspect, and help you with the strategy. Especially the strategy is very important, because what most people fail to actually consider is that us techies, we base everything we do on the strategy. Whereas if you don't have a strategy, then we'll put out a product, but it wouldn't be as effective because the strategy behind it was at a low level. So for this webinar on the 27th, we'll bring you up to date on how you can actually set up your website and your app, because a lot of people also have an app for their business, but they don't really know how to truly engage with their audience, with their clients, with their customers. And that's really bad, because in terms of your website, if people already know your website, then that's already one major step into their interest. Whereas it's not unfamiliar territory. They already know about you. So with what we want to do is actually make yourself even more presentable than all year to truly make yourself be more appealing. And we'll help you with the strategy and all of that, and help you kind of understand the technical aspect on that front as well. On the app side also, because on the app side, it's a lot of people kind of associate an app as just a mobile, a small mobile program, a web development program. But an app can be so much more engaging than a website. So we're going to help you with that. And as bonus, will provide you with some truly useful freemiums that you guys can take home, can dig into. Plus, there's also a very nice bonus where we kind of help you guys out on a one-on-one level, where you guys can ask all the questions you want, and we can truly dig into it. Because what makes it special is that Kristen and I, we're working together to actually truly bring together the business side and the technical side just for you. So you guys understand, okay, 2016 coming up, let's end the year with a big bang.
Yeah. And I think, everything that Gilliam said is, spot on. This webinar on Black Friday is so essential for your business just because of the fact that, with the holiday season coming, you definitely need to be prepared. And, at the end of the day, preparation and key and planning, like Gilliam said, is everything. So, we definitely want to make sure that, you follow us on social media. We'll give you our handles in a second. And, you go to our websites and, you opt into our mail list because, to be very frank, our mail list knows of stuff first. Once they know of things first, then we share with the media. But like, if you want to be like on the VIP side, you sign up for our mail list, I'm telling you, you will know firsthand of when we get stuff. And you never know, you get treats and stuff, especially with holidays coming up, if you sign up for the mail list. So it's definitely key and important to do so. So, we're going to just wrap this up. This was a great blab tonight. Definitely appreciate everybody who's currently watching, who's also watching the replay. We thank you guys. You're awesome. If you want to get in touch with me, I am at BizTechpreneur, which is like the word biz and the word techpreneur all at one, on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook. For some reason, Blab still has not worked out with my issue because Kristen Smith is like my personal handle, and like they haven't worked it out. So anyways, BizTechpreneur on all social media channels. You can find me there. If you want to check out my site, you can go to biztechpreneur.co. My company site is everrockllc.com. And that is how you can get in touch with me. I'm actually planning to hop on Periscope in a second because I always hop on Periscope to talk about the Blab because people follow me from Periscope, from the Blab. So they always want to know what happened. So I always do that. So Gilliam, if you want to let them know how to get in touch with you, that would be great.
Kind of putting all our handles on the message box. Right. And we'll be promoting the webinar on the 27th. We'll be promoting that through all our social media channels: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and even on LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn is very important to us.
Yes.
Because we want to truly keep it professional, and all the other channels, because we don't want to miss anybody. We want to provide all this exclusive content to everybody that feels like, okay, I want to fine tune my strategy, or they're like, oh, I didn't really think this through, and want to help them from scratch and truly set out a good plan, strategy, reap the most benefits in this holiday season, because this is the last time of 2015 that you can truly get the most out of it. So yeah. I couldn't agree more with anything that Gilliam said. So like we said, you can find us on our social media handles. Gilliam has put them, in the chat thread. Once again, we thank you all for tuning in this evening. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, our email addresses are on our social media handles. You can contact us, especially if you want to set up a consultation. We're more than welcome, and our schedule for the rest of the year is actually getting really tight. So the sooner that you reach out, the better. We definitely thank you guys. We hope you have a great rest of your Friday evening. If anybody has any additional questions, feel free to, tweet us, ask us on Instagram. I mean, we're very,
friendly and always willing to, engage within the community. So thank you all again for a great, great evening and a great run. And we hope that you all have a great rest of your Friday night.
Have a good night.